Hey,
Bloody.
Angel. What's up,
There he
buddy?
is. Hey.
Good
Let's
to see
see.
you, dude.
Good to see you. Sideways and horizontal.
Which, which way should I do it? Up like this or the other way?
The other way, yeah, like horizontal. So I'm
Okay,
good.
so like this.
There we
Like
go.
this, right?
Yeah, except it's looking like it's like this.
Oh, weird. Huh. Maybe I'll try it like this. Will that work?
Yeah, that'll be good. I can make something with it. Maybe blow
Yeah,
you
'cause
up.
I'm just seeing a normal me looking normal.
I mean, yeah, you look normal to me. So,
I mean the video, if it's not the way you want it, I can do it however you want, bro.
well, kind of how I have it, like where you could see the whole picture. And I know you just
Yeah,
tried to do it, but for some reason it wouldn't. Wouldn't
that's
go
weird.
horizontal. Yeah. I mean, if
But this
not,
is the way
it's
I've always yeah, this is the way I've always done it right here.
yeah. That's weird. It's weird that
Strange,
this.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm seeing you sideways.
I'm seeing you sideways.
Wow.
You just flip it
What
the
do
other
you
side.
do?
Yeah, we could just do it the other way. That's fine. Sorry to be a diva.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
brother.
before we start, I was something I was thinking about. Can we do that breathing thing that you do sometimes when you
Yeah, let me wipe my screen off here.
yeah.
Yeah, the four-part breathing thing.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You want to do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Okay.
Ooh, there we go. I feel that.
Yeah, even a couple of those really helps.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you. I needed that.
Enjoy your ceremony, Asian, the plastic orders, the looking glass.
Man, welcome back to the Fireside Chat, Bloody F mess. It's been a while.
Oh, we're recorded right now. We're recording.
We are.
Okay.
Let me double check here. Yes, we are recording.
I
Yeah,
was like,
man.
we'll do the breathing and then we'll record. But I forgot I already pressed OK, agreeing to be recorded before that.
Yes. You've agreed to use your likeness. Man, I wish I could be smoking right now. I'm in the living room, but I don't know. You haven't seen this setup here, the shrine.
No,
Yeah.
I dig all the lights, man.
Thanks. Athena put those together. That's all the little flaming things, and she just added this thing here, which is a lava lamp, a little tiny lava lamp. Hopefully it picks up.
Now, if he's sitting the right way, it looks like those little lighted things look like horns
You
on your
know,
head.
I'm so glad you noticed because I've been consciously doing that without saying anything. If you watch any of the chats from this room, I've been like trying to do that, and it comes out pretty cool. So right now it's like,
It is cool. It's like, you horny little devil.
well, yeah, they call me the angel, so I mean, I guess technically I'm just yeah.
What you got there? Some tea, man? Drinking some tea?
Coffee, some Turkish coffee.
Oh, man, my chick yanked the coffee. We just got a coffee, and I got two drinks, and she's got it out there. I'm like, this isn't fair.
Do you want to get some coffee? I mean, I don't mind.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay, bro.
Well,
I got my ganja. That's all I need.
oh, there you go. You're good. Yeah, no, I'm out in the open, so with Athena's daughter, I don't want her walking in and just blazing up. So normally,
Yeah.
I got a few in before we got started, but anyway, I'm just so happy to finally have you back. I was trying to think about the last time we that you've been on the Fireside Chat. It's been about a year.
Wow, that long?
Almost. Well, I think we talked right after the Livewire show. Your last live
Okay,
appearance for the.
that's right. That was
Yeah,
Jesus, last spring, right?
it was your 59th birthday. It was like right. Yeah, I mean it was like a week after. Yeah, it was like a week after that.
Yeah, man. I got to thank you guys once again too, man, for coming out to that show in Chicago and doing that great editing job and just being there with friends too to support. That was so great to meet you guys.
Yeah, no, it was like it was finally, finally like I mean, being in the same room together and finally getting to see you in action, and I'm just happy that you're pleased with what we did, with the end result, which is uh, on your YouTube channel, the Church of Rock, which is also there's also the radio show, the Church of Rock on KSKQ. Did I get that right this time?
Yes, sir.
26 years in, how you feeling? How you feeling with the Church of Rock?
Well, we've got more listeners than we've ever had, and there's some days where I just don't even want to do it. But when I get there, it's always the same result, man. I have a great time, and a lot of people express a lot of joy, and I'm gonna just keep going until they either get rid of me or until I die, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, is it
Keep going.
how are things with the station? I mean, I know especially with a lot of cuts with public radio, like is it you guys still?
Well, we're not public radio, so we're not connected to any. We don't have any governmental assistance anyway. So it's all supported by the people for the people. So thank goodness
Yeah,
they don't have us in their tight grip. We do it all ourselves,
that's great. No,
and that also means freedom of speech too. And there's no censorship, which is pretty killer, dude. 'Cause that's becoming a crazy thing these days.
yeah, no, and I well, we listened last night. We actually listened to the whole show, which I haven't done that in a while, and I had such
So
a
you
great.
heard the shout out. You heard your shout out.
I heard a shout out. We pretty much listened to the very end until like you were done, right into the jazz show, which was we haven't done
Thank you,
that.
man.
Yeah, yeah. So it was great. It was a good time and just like digging a lot of the music that you were playing last night, you and Tracy, and yeah, and check it out every Sunday. It's was it 6 p.m. Pacific, or Central Standard Time. It's 8 o'clock.
Yes,
So
sir.
so it's a little bit past our normal Sunday routine because we're like, yeah, like usually by the time you're wrapping up, I'm already in bed. So
Fair enough, bro.
but and then of course the Bloody F Mess official YouTube channel is still going strong. And really, yeah. And you just had well, did you just, or you're coming up to an anniversary soon, right? Or am I wrong?
I am, dude. Thank
Okay.
you for knowing, man. You're always so thoughtful, dude. March 28th, man. It'll be 2 years, which is shocking because I'm a little fried. So I was thinking it was a year anniversary coming up. That's how behind I am. And I looked, I'm like, it's going to be 2 years, dumbass. I'm like, oh my
Mm,
God. So
yeah.
I'm just grateful for people that, you know how it is. It's
Yeah.
pretty hard on YouTube to get subscribers, and it's just grateful for the ones I get. And I'm happy that people enjoy the content.
Yeah, I'm just blown away at the fact that a number of my friends, even I'm not going to call them out by name, but some of the people I play music with have not even subscribed to my channel. Do you have that with? I mean, I feel like a lot of your at least the people that count are subscribers. Have you? I
You
mean,
know, you're right about that. There's a lot, I won't say most, but a lot of
yeah,
my old friends, say from Peoria or even here in Medford, Oregon area, there's not that many subscribers. It seems like they're just all over the country, all over the United States, but also in like 8, 9 different countries. So
yeah,
I'm fortunate in that regard that I actually get to meet new friends, because the older you get, unless you go socialize a lot, it's kind of hard to meet new friends and have these new connections like you did back in the day where you have all these old friends.
yeah.
So now a lot of people don't really dig the channel from Peoria area, which is odd, but
Mm,
the other people make up for it. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a crazy, especially like some of my older friends who are very tech phobic, so they're like, I'm not gonna sign up for anything. I'm like, dude, just come on, just help me out. But
just click subscribe.
yeah, and then so that's yeah, and that's I'm glad you said something about how it's opened you up to like friendships. Like I feel with our channel since we started, which is we're now at 2 years, just over 2 years now.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've become, obviously you. Well, I wanted to say early on is that I thank you once again for the support you've given to our channel, and the fact that you have some of your people have come onto the channel. I'm thinking about Dylan Guttersnipe from New Zealand, who's a good guy, and constantly
He's a
checking
great
out.
dude, man. Yeah, he's
So,
a good one.
and I hope and you were saying earlier, like before we got on, that you're like, like nobody wants to hear from me, and I'm like, I can't tell you how many messages I get from friends about our chats that we've had. Which right now this will be the fourth, so
Wow.
we've
Yeah,
done.
that's a record.
You're like the most, like you're like the only person I've had more than once, and it's been
I'm
great.
I'm I'm not just regular. I'm a regular.
You are a regular. I mean, you are the family. You are part of our family, and
Yes.
I, and since then, since that last time we talked, I mean, I've become friends with a lot of other YouTube content makers. And have you? Is there any collabs in the future that I don't know that if people from other YouTube channels hit you up about like, hey, let's do something together, or
I'm not really together. I just get hit up once in a while to do interviews or chats like we're doing now.
sure.
I have been considering bringing people on my channel now that I know how to do that. I haven't done it yet, but I having somebody else. So when you're watching the screen, you're seeing, the two people talking. I need to utilize that. That would be really cool because then I could kind of expand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and by the way, I've been noticing that you've been working on the thumbnails, just like, oh, look at that, Bloody's, you know, because when you open up the Bloody F Mets official page, it's like you, but with different outfits, which is always kind of that's also a game that I always play. Like, oh, what outfit is Bloody wearing for this video?
Nice.
But the last, I don't know, month or two, I've been like, oh, Bloody's using photos,
Yeah.
or using flyers and photos to kind of like, that fits the theme of the episode or video that you're going to put out or that you're putting
Yeah, I
out.
realized that I've got a lot of photos that correspond to the story I'm telling. So I'm like, hey, there's a picture of me with Ram Dass. I'm talking about him, and this is
Yeah.
from that day. So then I started realizing, dude, you got a lot of like flyers and photos you could be using for thumbnails. So I've actually been going back to some of the older videos too and adding different thumbnails. So you're gonna see some of that in the future. Well, maybe. But yeah, I'm trying to make them all correspond with a photo or a flyer or something from the event, which isn't easy to do. But there's quite a few things I found, and I'm like, shit, I might as well go back and make them cooler, you know?
Well, and as some of my Gen Zer content makers have told me that obviously thumbnails is. I think that's the thing that I've kind of been inspired by a lot of these younger folks that I have been talking to, is the thumbnail. I mean, that's like the calling card. That's what gets people enticed to check it out. So it's cool that you're thinking about that as well, and it could also maybe help views. I've heard that also sometimes. A video that was kind of like in the low, I don't know, hundreds, all of a sudden you get a spike. Who knows, So
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that.
oh,
I wrote a song, though, called I Am the Thumbnail, I Am the Emoji, and I haven't recorded it yet, but I was thinking that one day because we were talking about this subject, and I'm like, dude, I am the thumbnail. Whoever I said that to might have been you. I don't know. They started laughing.
I
But
like
I'm like,
that.
I am the emoji, and all these lyrics started coming out, kind of like a weird new wave tune, like I
Yeah.
am the thumbnail, I am the emoji.
Love it. And is this going to be on the project you're working with? Which, yeah, I mean, a lot has happened since we've talked, and I want to talk about a lot of things with you with the time we have. But yeah, I mean, I know you've been working on that project with West Beach. How's that going?
It's the slowest project I've ever been working on in my life. But that being said, some things are just, meant to like brew slowly, and it's no big deal. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
The Plasmatics deal, it's four covers, and we had two originals. I'm not sure if we're going to release both originals, but I want to keep it simple, 5-6 songs at the most.
yeah,
With West Beach playing guitar and bass. He's got a bunch of super cool guest stars, which I won't open my mouth because who knows what'll happen.
yeah.
But my friend Leif Garrett, who I became friends with after interviewing him not too long ago, a few months ago in the Church of Rock, he's been invited to do vocals. At first, it was one song, Black Leather Monster. But now I've invited Leif to do vocals on all the songs. So it won't just be Bloody F Mess with some dudes from the Plasmatics and guest stars. It's going to be Bloody F Mess and Leif Garrett
Yeah.
with that. And Leif was like dude, it's your album. I'm like, yeah, but I'm also in charge of the artistic direction. And I think it'd be cool for you not just to be a token, guest appearance by Leif to kind of sell it, but
Yeah,
just put you on vocals. Me and you do it all, bro. And he's like, yeah.
that is
So
cool.
I think we're both going to do vocals on it.
So for the uninitiated, Leif Garrett is what would be the best way to describe him? Obviously,
Oh my
he's a
God.
'70s superstar, but
He
he
was
was
a superstar in the 70s, like mega triple double, mega platinum.
yeah,
The dude was just, doing gigs all over the world, selling out, breaking records at some places. Like I'm talking 30, 50,000 people, 3 nights in a row kind of thing.
yeah,
But he was a pop star that was kind of manufactured to sell a certain image, which he didn't like.
yeah,
And he was like more like girls liked Leif more than guys did. I always thought he was cool. I just thought this dude's cool, man. He
yeah,
got the looks, he got the chicks, he can skateboard, he likes music. I thought he was a cool dude. In the Outsiders movie and some of those other, like
yeah,
Walking Tall when he was a kid. I always thought he was kind of cool. Wasn't real big into his music, to be honest, then.
yeah.
But these days, Leif Garrett, if you look at his history, I mean, he had that band with Dave Navarro called Godspeed. And they've got an EP on YouTube that's real good stuff. He's done like Neil Young covers and Cheap Trick. And there's like
Yeah.
hundreds of songs this guy's put out that no one knows about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's always liked the hard stuff, and he only did that collaboration with the Melvins. But he's been waiting for an opportunity to do something heavy. Now he's so into this plasmatics thing, and I'm really grateful because he's like really into it, not just because there's not a big money thing there for anybody. It's more like the love of making music, and he loves Wendy O and stuff. So,
and I mean, it's well, and it's interesting because so before you met up with him, this was maybe some time ago. I was just on YouTube, and of course came upon Leif Garrett's his TV special he did.
that's right. Yeah.
And I have a vague memory of seeing it as a kid, but I watched it, from front to back, and yeah, there's some corny parts, but I'm like, Leif, this guy is just a talented guy. Like, obviously can perform, but also he was a great actor, and just and I mean, he was like 17 when he did that thing, and I'm just like, wow, this is.
And dude, Leif, he's so multi-dimensional. Like he's a super multi-dimensional guy. He's extremely got all these different sides to him, but he really does have a lot of talent, man. That's why his name's always kind of stayed around. He just did his last gig ever as Leif Garrett at the Whiskey on his birthday in December. Looking forward to the collab, dude. And I think it'll be really cool to have someone to share the vocal duties with, and I think it'd be fun to have me and Leif do that. And I absolutely feel like it's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
like artistically.
No, I agree, and I was going to say about Leif Garrett that and the interview you did with you and Tracy was great. I mean, it was
thank you.
I mean, and I think that's something that kind of with your. Your career as not only as a singer and as a writer, but also, you've done fanzines and you've interviewed all kinds of celebrities and, people from your youth. I mean, and there's like this fearlessness that I always notice when you talk to people, not so much like you're like going to scare them, but just more like, most people would just kind of clam up, but you have this just like, you're going to, cut right through it and try to connect with somebody. Is that kind of your is that kind of your what do you call it?
Like my MO?
Your MO when you're coming into talking to somebody because for me, I get comfortable talking with people that I know, but when it comes to people that, especially doing this, that it's the first time, we're talking, I get anxious and kind of nervous, but.
That's normal, bro. That's if you didn't, it probably wouldn't be normal to not be anxious, I think. And I do get that way too. But yeah, you're the first person to ever bring that up. And I think about that often, like being an interviewer of people like you are too. You always think about your approach, and you think about, I could have said this, or I could maybe do this. This would be better if I had this way of doing things or asking these questions. So you're right, dude. I mean, I do try to kind of dive in head first. I try not to talk about much small talk at all. I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't really want to build up to an interview. I just want to dive in and jump into the dirt or the meat of the matter and then work my way out, Because with people, you never know how much time you're going to get. Like when I interviewed Leif, no idea how long he wanted to talk. I could tell at the end he was about done. So I naturally, wrapped it up after 25 minutes, 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate that. I do enjoy doing interviews with people,
Yeah. And like for me, I'm trying to learn from other people on how to approach things. Because, for me, obviously with the fireside chats, I think something that, and especially a lot of my friends who watch regularly notice, it's like, it's not really like, Q&A. It's more like you guys are talking and I like that. I also like to, while we're meandering, try to, find something that kind of comes up, and then go from there.
Well, that's when I was taught radio by a great guy named Wayne R. Miller and other people too. But Wayne R. Miller got me my career in radio starting back in 1999. What happened was he said, when you're doing an interview, you talk like you're having a normal conversation. You don't have everything written out. Sometimes, and a lot of the time, your next question should evolve from the answer that the guy just gave. It might not have anything to do with what you had planned. Listen to when you interview, and then you can take your next questions directly from that answer, perhaps, and find a new avenue.
Yeah.
So that was something that was valuable to me to learn.
Yeah. And that was I think something that you're talking about with radio, which I'm obsessed with like radio culture, radio DJs, and I'm a little jealous that you get to have a weekly radio show, because that's always been my dream, is like inflict my music.
You'd be great at it. Man. So you'd have because music like crazy. You're like a walking encyclopedia half the time with your trivia and your love and knowledge and wisdom of music.
Yeah.
You have good taste in all kinds of, not just punk, but all kinds of music. From the Beatles, everything. You're natural having a radio show. Problem is, like we talked about before, bro, it's all automated these days, and it's not like it used to be. It's so hard to get like a radio show now,
Yeah, even community radio used to be able to go to like the local college and just be like, hey, I can volunteer to be a DJ, and that's where that's where what's that? Sorry.
My advice to you, dude, is call around, because you're in that area right outside of Chicago and stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of avenues there to explore that you might not even know exist. I would look around for every community radio station first, and then you can try public radio. But I would try community first because you have more freedom there.
Sure.
And just pitch a 2-hour show, because most of the ones I know about, you walk in the door and say, hey, I want to do a radio show here on this community station. I want to serve this station, and I'll do it for free. It comes with accolades. You get all kinds of concert tickets, and weird things happen. You meet so many friends. But you pitch a show, and they'll give you a piece of paper, and you write down like what your idea is, and then they have generally a little meeting, and then they'll bring you in, and the next thing you know, you're on the radio, on FM radio. You could do that. I bet you can make it happen in your area.
Yeah, there's actually there's a few like community stations, like low wattage stations. Thank you.
Probably live streaming now too. So you'd be on the radio and live streaming, and Jesus, most of our listeners are on from the live stream, bro.
I mean,
it's just a matter of promoting it.
Yeah, and you do a really good job. Now, so there was a time when you were actually making money as a DJ, or at least earning a living. Like, how long was that? Yeah. How long was that period for?
The first 2 years when I was in Peoria, I started out I was doing radio 7 days a week. I would come on the radio at midnight to 6 a.m., 7 days a week, which was against the law. I found out in broadcast you can't be on that much. But the guy that was doing the overnights at the radio station I started at, which was Rock 106 Radio in Peoria, he was dealing coke out of the station. He was selling he was selling coke to a lot of the local policemen in Peoria too.
Oh, geez.
And all this shit happened, and I did a video about that on my channel about me taking his place, and then the cops breaking in and trying to bust me with weed on me. And they brought in K9 at like 3 a.m, kicked in the doors of the radio station when I was on the air.
Oh,
just crazy shit.
Go back in the studio, and I hear all of a sudden, a few minutes later, this loud crashing noise that literally almost made me pee myself. And I was like, what in the heck, man? Somebody either just drove in through the front door or somebody just broke in. And I'm freaking out, dude. And I'm looking out through the big glass window because it looked into like another studio on the other side, but the hallway was in the middle going that way towards the front doors, right? The whole building is dark except for the booth. My heart is pounding. I know for a fact somebody has broken in. And this is not good, right? And it wasn't. Well, I start to look down out that glass and I see lights coming down the hallway, like flashlights, and I am freaking out. My heart's going really fast right now thinking about this stuff, man. It was a real bummer. And I was like, oh my gosh. Well, in my pocket was a baggie with some weed in it. And but back then, it was very harsh, the laws there. I could have gotten a lot of trouble and probably even gotten behind bars because of it. But I opened the studio door because I'm like, okay, I've got to confront this head on. I can't just sit here as a sitting duck. There's no way out of here. So I freaking open the door and I'm like, hello? And more lights are coming down the hallway. And I'm like really freaking out. No one's saying anything. Somebody's trying to freak me out. And they did. Well, next thing you know, guess what I see? Lurking from the shadows, coming through that flashlight. It looked like a fog in the distance. It was such a spooky, surreal sight. I saw a German Shepherd dog, and it wasn't just any German Shepherd dog, friends. It was a canine unit. And guess who was holding on to it? The Peoria police. And there was a couple, maybe 2 or 3 of these guys. Finally, I'm like, hello? And this officer says, yeah, how you doing? And I'm like, his tone of voice was telling me that he was there to mess with me. I all of a sudden realized, okay, this has to do with that other DJ that was fired, because I had found out in the interim that he'd been connected with the police because of his father being an ex-police chief or whatever he was. And he, according to what I found out, I'm not naming names here, was dealing a particular substance out of that studio. It was one of the reasons he was let go from what I know. You know what he says to me? He says, we're here because your front door was wide open. We thought somebody maybe broke in. We thought we'd check in on you. And he's kind of smirking, and you could tell that they were lying. And they weren't trying to hide it, man. And I had a canine, and I had weed in my pocket. I'm like, oh, man. You know what I did? I said, no, man. I was just out there smoking 5 or 10 minutes ago. That door was locked, dude. But guess what? I've got to be on the air in like seconds, which I had minutes. I think I threw on a long song. We would do that and go get buzzed, and go stand outside and smoke out, me and the DJs. It was fun. But this particular night, it wasn't fun. And those cops were there to mess with me and probably try to get me busted. But what I did was quickly, this all happened in like a minute. I wasn't stupid. If that canine would have reacted to that smell, which I don't know why he didn't at that point, I don't know how that works, but I immediately said, I got to get back in the studio. Have a good night, guys, because I knew they had no way they could come in that studio unless they were going to bust me or give me some kind of really grandiose lie about why the heck they're walking in the studio, because that was off limits. When the door was shut and a DJ was on the air, there was no way people walked in there unless it was management. You just didn't do that to a DJ. Well, they didn't come in there, and they did leave. But my heart was pounding. I didn't know if I should call somebody for help because I didn't trust these guys. I knew that they were doing illegal stuff. That's what I'd been hearing on the street, and I'm a dude from the streets. And I just know there was some bad stuff going on. They were really mad that I wasn't on anymore. They were calling me on the overnight phones, saying stuff every night like before this. They were saying stuff like, where's Kelly? How come he's off the air? Who's this? And they would give me snide remarks and tell me they were police. And I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to be on the bad side of these guys. They have a lot of power, man, And so the next day, basically, I went through the rest of the night freaking out. I mean, from 3 to 6, I was thinking, they're going to come back. They're going to come back and get me. I've got this on me. It's so illegal, which is now totally legal for recreational and medical in the state of Illinois, by the way.
So that's how I started. They just said, he's out of here, but you're going to have to be on 7 nights a week doing the overnight. And I'm like,
oh, geez.
Look, bring it on.
Sure.
And so I was doing full-time radio from 1999 till about 2007.
Okay, wow.
So from there, I went to another station, and then from there, I went to Bloomington, Illinois. But I've kept the 2-hour Church of Rock show going since 1999.
Wow.
So on every one of those channels, there was a 2-hour show that I did where I had did all the programming and the one you hear today.
Yeah.
So You need
Man.
to start your own show, dude. I'm telling you, because
I mean-
somebody out there is just waiting for you.
No, I mean, I was gonna say, like, I want to be able to inflict my musical tastes for 2 hours weekly,
I
and
want to have a favorite radio show to tune into, bro. So come
there you
on.
go. I mean, yeah, and yeah, and like, so yeah, so you were doing, and there's a number of stories on the Bloody F Mess official channel of just like all the concerts that because yeah, you were saying you get free tickets, occasionally free drugs and booze, but yeah, and you just some of the stories that you've told about some of these shows. I think yeah, it's great. I think there was one in particular. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead.
I was going to say there was one in particular that kind of sounded like it went off the rails, or I'm guessing that's not the first time any of those.
Which one was it?
I think it was
In a nutshell.
it was going out to Chicago. I'm trying to think what show it was. I don't know if it
Oh,
was.
going to see Tool, maybe?
That's right, Tool. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I took a group of radio station winners. I was the guy in charge. It was like the inmates running the asylum, dude.
Ooh, yeah.
I drank more than any of those people, and I got shit-faced drunk in the back of a limo with like 4 or 5 of these Tool winners. Problem is, I hate the band Tool.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go. Didn't
Yeah.
want to be there. Don't like them.
Yeah.
Was bored out of my skull the whole time.
Yeah.
And I had to pretend like, hey, yeah. But the more I drank, the more I kind of said stuff like, hey, these guys suck. And everyone was hating on me, especially this one chick.
Ooh.
And I went to buy her a drink, and she thought I was hitting on her, and I wasn't. I was like, and she was like, yeah, you old man, or some shit. I was like, I'm not even hitting on you, you weirdo.
Wow.
Egotistical weirdo. But, dude, I'm going to give you a scoop I've never told anyone that happened to me in radio, and this is something I haven't been wanting to say on my channel because it's pretty out there. So one time, I actually smoked crack on the radio
Oh shit.
when I
Wow.
was broadcasting. Like, I was on Midnight to 6.
Okay.
A friend of mine who shall not be named, it was a she called me up and said, hey, man, you're on the air. You want to smoke out, man? And because people would stop by the station at midnight to like 6, and we'd puff out outside. I'd put on like Inagata Devita by Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
We did like 26 minutes to get ripped. Or like, anything from The Song Remains the Same by Zeppelin.
Yeah.
28 minutes, Whole Lot of Love. Or,
You just got to you got to have like a portable radio or something just to be like, okay, I gotta.
Or Free Bird by Skinner from like the live album. It's like 18 minutes, We
Yeah.
put on stuff like that so we could party. And all the DJs did this stuff, but I was real bad. Like, my friend comes up and I think we're going to smoke a bunch of weed, and she's just a platonic friend of mine. I was with Tracy at the time, but I've never told this story to anyone. And so she comes up there and she ends up having crack. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? And of course, after she starts telling me how, oh, come on, man, just blah, blah, blah. And I'm not a peer pressure kind of guy, but I'm kind of nutty. And this is 99.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you know what, man? I'll take a couple hits.
Yeah.
Just completely, what an idiot, right? I mean, who's going to say yeah to smoking crack, dude? And I'm on the radio. So I'm like, well, I got like 4.5 minutes where I got to talk and do the weather and blah, blah, blah. And so we go back behind the little booth thing to the other studio room that you look into from my mixing board. And we're back there puffing away, man. And there was weed in the bowl, too, to be fair.
Okay.
But we ended up smoking enough to where I was freaking high as a kite. I'm like, oh, my God. Because I'd smoked that stuff maybe 5 or 6 times back in the early 90s. Started out on accident. Like, didn't even know that's what it was.
Okay.
So here we are. I'm on the radio. I got about a minute and a half left to talk on the radio. I'm high as a kite on this stuff, dude. And I go back in the booth, and I'm so high that all I can think about is what I just did. So I'm like, yeah, that was Led Zeppelin here on WWCT, and that song cracks me up. And people were laughing on the other side of the booth. She's like, and I'm like, every other word that came out of my mouth had the word crack in it. Crack, cracks. And I kept going on and on until I just had to go to a commercial because I couldn't quit doing it. I was just so high.
Wow.
And anyway, that's a weird, kind of a awkward thing to admit that I did, but it's kind of funny now. And,
Yeah.
I thought I'd give you the scoop.
Oh, thank you. I mean, you could say anything on this channel, but wow.
I've never told that one, man. I'm just like, how do you tell your viewing audience? Yeah, man, one time I was smoking crack on the radio, and...
I mean, I can't think of any cases where somebody was abusing drugs on the air. I know I've heard like air check recordings of like DJs getting fired and getting yanked
Well,
off.
a lot of those guys would do cocaine and get on the radio. I'm not naming names, and I
I
did it
mean,
quite a few times where listeners would show up and just say, "Hey, man, I got some killer coke," and you'd be like, I don't want to say yes, but okay. And all the DJs I know would always say, "Okay, man." They'd always just, "Okay, just one." And then you'd be calling that guy back 20 minutes later. "Hey, you want to step back by?"
I mean, geez, everyone, WKRP has nothing. What was going on? But
Anyway, it's just a fun tale. I'm not advocating that anybody
No.
ever smoke that stuff.
No.
It's highly addictive. I never got
Yeah.
addicted to crack. I was dating some chicks that were into it back in the early 90s, and we'd be just drunk at like 3 in the morning, very decadent kind of stuff
Yeah.
going on. And I'd take a couple hits, and it would just get me high as a kite, and that would be it. I walked away. I never got addicted to that garbage.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
good. I mean, I guess your nervous system is so built differently that something like that would be like, oh, it's. I've never had it before. I can't imagine like having to like do everything.
You can just do it once or twice and never do it again. Everything's fun. Every forbidden fruit tastes sweet. The problem with forbidden fruit is it's addictive, and then you ruined your life. But I was always able to pretty much walk away from most of that kind of shit, and
Yeah.
just, I've sampled a lot of garbage that I shouldn't have. And it's okay now because I lived, to tell about it. But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, definitely never advocate that though, Angel, to anybody.
No. I mean, obviously there's people that are struggling, and of course, turn to somebody to help you if you're struggling, or just hit us up and send a message or something if you need help. I could at least
We will struggle together. We will struggle together.
But no, I mean, you're definitely a classic example of a survivor, and I'm just happy that we're friends. And something that I remember, I have one of my previous guests, Tom Anderson, meeting him now as well, and he's in recovery. And one of the things about him is that I love this version of Tom. Like, I never got to know the Tom from the past when he was just, raising hell. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have liked that version, but the version of Tom now is what I love, and the version of you, Bloody, is what I love. And I know.
Well, I'm all the power out to Tom, and good luck, brother. You got this, man, and that's awesome to hear success stories.
Yeah.
And they do say it's one day at a time. For me, it's always just been, look, I live in the moment. I don't ever say never. I don't ever talk about it. There's so much stuff that I'm so transparent about, bro, and it's wonderful to hear that people are doing that and having success stories.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I know right now that are beating alcohol and drugs, and they're winning, and I'm so stoked about that, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that.
I know. Yeah. It's hard, especially nowadays. I mean, I can't imagine like trying to quit anything at this moment in time, because I know obviously this is an opportunity for some people to start drinking heavily or doing drugs
It's an edgy world, huh?
Oh my God. And I think going back to the first time we talked, and kind of you're just saying like, things are just not going to get any better. But, things are going to get worse before they get better. And I'm thinking, oh well, I'm hoping things are going to be fine. And I believe me, it's like I try to put not so much a happy face, but more just trying to. I know that there's evil in the world right now, but at the same time, I'm like, there's still some good in this world, and I don't know.
You're choosing to focus on what is good, and that's a good thing, bro. Really offended when I hear about censorship. I just don't like it, man. I think it's leading us down a scary, dark time in American history, and it's getting worse every fucking day, man.
Yeah, and
it really is. It's going to come to a head. It's going to get worse. I can tell you right now. There's no way it's going to get better.
I mean, I'm just at this point. I'm just hoping the youth will turn things around. I still have faith in like the generation coming up. I know there's like that. There's pockets that are going on a bad path, but in general, like I do feel like things could get better, but I don't know. I'm being cautiously.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Angel. I hope you're right. I'd like to err on the side of your beliefs than mine.
No, but I mean, believe me, there's days when I'm just like, oh, like I just want to, not play music. I don't want to do, anything. I just want to curl up, but then it's like they win. So
Yeah, I get depressed too, man, a lot, and a lot of people I know suffer from depression. But corporations own everything in this country, and there's no mom and pop mentality left. So I just feel like it's going to get darker. But I hope you're right, Angel. I really do.
Give them.
Well, here's the secret. There are two things that you have to do. One of them is to not stop, and the other one is to keep going. But when you get there, you'll find out that it's still tough.
But yeah, so it's Groundhog's Day, and of course, something I wanted to talk to you about, and I know you've talked about it on your channel and during the Church of Rock show, but we lost a legend. We lost not only a legend, but a dear friend of yours.
Yeah.
I know it's
Moonie.
kind of yeah. For the folks out there, I mean, I never got to meet Moonie, and I don't think I ever got to see. I definitely never saw 1096 during their lifetime, but they were from Kenosha, blistering punk rock band.
They did one great album, which is so killer. It's called No Retreat.
No Retreat on Beer City.
I was looking online, bro, and I found a ton of live videos of those guys. 1096 in Peoria, there's a ton of videos that shows them at their best. Real good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moonie was around doing it since the early 80s, playing drums in like probably about 4 different bands I know of. But U.S. Distress and 1096 were like his bands that he spent the most time in, mainly 1096, and that's what he's kind of known for.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was suffering at the end, and my first thought when I was told he finally left here was he's no longer suffering, because I was along for the ride, man, up until this last day, bro.
Yeah.
And I was being updated daily, talking to Moonie up until he couldn't talk. We were on the phone with each other. I wrote him a letter. It got to him when he was still totally coherent, which was like a huge blessing for me, because it was closure for both of us, and that was my intention. So thank God, man. I got, me and him were good. We were good. But a lot of people are missing him. He was a big part of the Kenosha punk scene, and one of the last of that generation. There's still a few around.
Oh, okay.
If they're watching this, no disrespect, because Randy Rude's still doing it from 1096, the bass player.
Okay.
There's other bands in Kenosha. There's like 5 bands I can think of that are carrying that torch. But Moonie, man, his obituary came out today, and I think I sent it to you.
Yeah. Although in his obituary, there's no mention of any of the groups that he's played in, and I was a little.
I was kind of. Tracy said that too. She goes, "Man, it's really a shame that they did not mention 1096, because that's what he's known for, and they should have definitely mentioned it." I'm certainly not here to criticize the people that were behind his obituary, which is probably his sister and parents and family. Yeah. And I love them. Thanks for putting the obit. The obit was great. Besides that, I mean, it was really great.
Yeah.
But they should have included 1096 in there for sure.
And that's big.
It should be on his tombstone. It should say Moon 1096. Man.
Right. Yeah. And that's that was something I was thinking about. Like, obviously, when the time comes for us to meet our maker, or as the Krishnas like to call it, the disappearance of, when we disappear. How we want to be remembered, and I was wondering if you have a contingent obituary written up, like how like some news outlets will like have something already prepared in case somebody dies. Have you thought about it?
I've never given much thought to it, dude. I just figured that would be up to the closest of my family to do, I guess. But that's a good idea. It would be kind of fun to write your own obituary to make sure they get that in there. Make sure my bands are mentioned, man. It was my legacy, for Christ's sake. Beautiful Bert, on his tombstone, it's got a big picture of him with his long, crazy white blonde hair, because he was the glam rocker. It's got Beautiful Bert right there on his tombstone with a picture of himself. And Dean Dirt from 1096, it says Dean Dirt Lipke, and it says life is a blink. That's what he used to always say. And I think Moonie should have one that says Moon 1096. Something, man.
I wonder if people. I wonder if people know what 1096 means. That's why they didn't include it on there. I don't know.
Good point.
I was thinking.
It means obviously it means mental subject in police code. Like, we've got a 1096 here. we got a mental subject here. And those guys were all crazy, man. And I mean that respectfully, of course.
Yeah.
But they are all crazy, and they'd be the first to admit it, man. Just nuts.
And Moonie was as a drummer, man. He was like he almost played like a jazz drummer, but sped up. Just very
He was so
yeah.
good. He was so
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah. I mean I was like listening to some of those fills that he was doing, and it's like I'm like, how does that stamina? So, one of the questions I always ask our guests is, what are your first memories of us meeting? But something I want to ask that question to you, but I want to ask you, like, what were your first memories of meeting Moonie or the 1096, or who did you meet first, or how did that?
That's interesting. Went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, my band Bloody Mess and Hate. It was May of 1985. We played at a biker bar called Duke's 2, and they had a lot of punk shows at this place. And the beer was cheap and flowing like crazy. And all these punk rockers were there with mohawks and skinheads, and it was like, wow, look at this scene. Everyone is like super colorful, and it looked like your typical punk rock crowd, but there's a lot of them. And I was like, this place is only 4 hours from Peoria. I dig this place. And Moonie was one of the very first people I met. His band, U.S. Distress, was on the bill that night, and he was playing for them. And he had a big old white mohawk, and I had a big old black mohawk. We almost looked like twins, except he had glasses on. We were both wearing leather jackets. We went into the bathroom stall that very night and took a picture of me and him in the stall with all this graffiti. And after that, which I just found that picture, by the way. But after that, every year that we'd get together in Kenosha, we'd always go in the bathroom stall and get the decadent, drunken picture of us. We had like a dozen.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he was one of the first dudes that I met, and along with Dean Dirt from 1096. We went back a month later and played there in June of '85. 1 month later, Hate opens for 1096, 1096 opened for Hate, I think. But it was freaking nuts because when 1096 played, my bass player was looking at Dean Dirt while he was performing going, yeah, follow that, crazy boy. Good luck. big man and all this shit, being an asshole to me. And I'm like, screw you. But the whole time I'm thinking, how am I ever going to follow that guy?
Yeah.
Jesus, he was insane on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of that footage. I mean, he's just like, the term eating the microphone. I mean, that was Dean, just like. But Moonie, yeah.
Climbing the amps, scaling the ceiling at this place, dude. I mean, he was pulling every trick, knocking stuff over, and just like, and they were good. They were tight. They had a different drummer named Guy at the time, and so that was the first time I met Moonie. That time in Kenosha.
Wow. And Kenosha sounds like, at least don't mind this guy. We've talked a little bit about Kenosha in that time period, and it seemed like it's almost like this magical punk rock place. I mean, like how, like
it kind of was for me, because there was the Chicago scene, but I didn't know a ton of people there.
Yeah.
But the Kenosha scene only being an hour and some change away from Chicago, it was really cool. It was like little bit of New York, a little bit of LA, a little bit of London punk rock scenes all put together. There was gothic rockers, there was punk rockers, there was skins. It was just freaking awesome, man. You know, it was a great community with a lot of good bands like the Charming Deviants.
You got strong, you were dead. Strassburg, we were blood. Give me this fucking world.
1096. US Distress.
Man, let's do it. One by one, I'll fight you one by one. The outside people need to buy yourself. Don't know what to do.
You know, and there was Die Monster Die doing my gothic death rock. I would just go there for like 2 weeks at a time, a lot, and I would stay on people's couches, like Moonie's house, stay in his room on the floor, or at his mom's house, or I'd stay at Dean Dirt's house, or Beautiful Bert's one-room place, his famous little burner, hot stove burner he would use to cook on, and smoking weed and drinking for 2 weeks on end, going to the soup kitchen every day to get meals because none of us had money.
Right.
You know?
Oh my. Yeah, I think you mentioned that about, like, there was like, you were either doing the soup kitchens or you would go, didn't you tell me you would go to bars that had karaoke nights and make some money doing that?
I did that like in the early 90s. I used to, after I was doing the country thing for a while, later on I was doing it full time, but I started doing the country vocal thing and I started going to these karaoke events, and whenever I was real broke, I would get up there and do the Doors or like some Hank Jr. I know a lot of people hate Hank Jr., but I just love his music. So I'd either do, believe it or not, the Doors or Hank Williams Jr., and I would always knock it out of the park because those are the two I could sing in my range comfortably. And I would just, kind of like those interviews, man, I would just approach it with, I'm going to win this. And I don't think I ever got in first place, but I definitely got in second, and I would get like $60, you know, or something.
Hey, that's something. I mean, $60 will get you, you know, some food, maybe some beer. Maybe
back in the early 90s or mid 90s, it was probably mid 90s actually. It was actually worth a lot more then too.
And I mean, back to Moonie, because obviously he's a, you know, we're thinking about him right now and just hoping that his, you know, his soul is in a good place right now, and you know, but you had told me about just how generous of a guy he was, and you guys kept in touch pretty much up until the end, which is beautiful. But yeah, like, you know, you told me that story about just just surprising you with things that you need. Like,
yeah, he was super generous, man. Real thoughtful dude, man. You know.
Yeah.
And the way he said it, and the way I always said it too, it's like, man, we're brothers. We've known each other since we were like teenagers. I mean, you know, here we both are. You know. He still had his mohawk, man, from like 1980. He had it kind of slicked back, but he still had it, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you shared that picture of him in that kind of like, what is it, like a hot rod or some kind of...
The rat rod, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, see, this is why I'm glad that you have a YouTube channel, because you're sharing these stories about him and a lot of your friends, because... And that's what I do with this channel, is like try to memorialize people's stories, and because obviously, you know, we're not getting any like Manhattan book publishers hitting us up about like, I want to hear about this story and I want to hear about that story. So
I wish, man. Come on, show me the money.
Well, I'm seeing we're almost to an hour.
That's great. Always great connecting with you, bro. And it's, you know, I can't believe it's been almost a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But coming up in March, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you're gonna hit your milestone in March.
60 years young in March, man.
Yay!
Woo. I never thought I'd make it past 27, man. It's crazy, dude.
I mean, yeah. I mean, especially with some of the stories, like you've experienced like a lot of things that probably, you know, maybe you shouldn't have seen when you were young, but you did. Do you feel like, especially like, I mean, there was a number of stories about seeing people die in front of you, or seeing like, which is like, when we were talking, Athena and I were talking about that, and she's like, yeah, that's got to really, that's got to inform something about you. I mean, was that, consciously, subconsciously, where you're like, wow, that's, do you think that kind of helped, that pointed you, took you to the path?
It was definitely traumatizing to a point. It wasn't like overly traumatizing or anything like that, but it was traumatizing to a point at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because seeing that dude drown, for instance, when I'd go take a shower and I would freak out and be fearful of drowning, even though I knew rationally that I'm in a bathtub. I'm not going to drown. I couldn't, unless I fell asleep in a freaking bath. But I used to get freaked out. And same thing when I saw the movie Jaws, though.
Yeah.
Traumatized. Didn't even want to be near water because there was a shark.
Yeah.
But when you're young like that, especially pre 10 years old, because the formative years between like 1 to 10 or 5 to 10 are pretty important. So if you go through a lot of trauma during those years, it's going to affect you in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how bad it was as far as long term or anything. But it's crazy to think about all of it. Watching a guy burn on fire, that was definitely intense, and that's not even the word for it, man.
Yeah,
that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, dude, especially being told at that age too, oh, the fire department that's here, they're not putting him out. We're all like, why aren't they putting him out? And they're like, it's not the right county fire department. It was something like that. And I was like completely appalled as a kid thinking, what?
Yeah.
And it was weird, but yeah.
Wow.
You asked.
No, I mean, I'm not afraid to tread any in that direction. I'm just always, I think about that. It's like, God, that's got to really like, obviously like either it changes you or just, it kind of informs your work as well, maybe kind of like.
My grandmother I was alone with my grandmother when she died.
Oh, okay.
It was actually surprisingly peaceful though, because I've always heard that people kind of die around the person they want to, or certain people they won't. They'll wait, and it's kind of weird. But I was the only one there, and that's when she chose to go. And it was wild because when she died, her eyes stayed open, and I was completely at peace knowing she was no longer suffering with this horrible lung cancer. But I just instinctively put my fingers up on her eyelids and just closed her eyes real gently just to give her some dignity. So she just wasn't laying there with her eyes wide open. I don't know. Maybe it was to keep me from being freaked out, but I closed her eyelids for her. That was always something I've always remembered.
Well, I think it's just respect for the dead, respect for, for even after they've left, which I think, I think you definitely have that, you have life on one side and death on the other. And obviously we can go either way, but I think having it as in the middle is kind of that always seems to be the key, in general. It's just like keeping the center. And, you hit that moment where it's, everything is good for like it could be as long as 10 minutes or a day, but everything is like.
Yeah, rest in peace, brother Moonie, man. Thanks for giving so much time to talk about Moon too. That's awesome, man. I've been kind of numb to it because I didn't see it coming. Just literally a month ago, me and that guy were on the phone talking, and we were both saying, "Can't believe we're both still alive." Same here, blah blah blah. Wonder which one to go first, haha. We were just like laughing about it, not knowing that in about a month later he would be gone. It's just surreal to me, man.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that his body gave out at his age because of the perpetual drinking in his life. It's no secret. He was a lifelong drinker, and he was very proud of that. He didn't give a fuck. Yeah. He was doing his own thing. He always was a good person despite it. It was never, back in the day, Moonie was a pretty crazy drunk. If you went out in public with Moon at a bar, you were probably going to be talking to cops later, or something was going to get broken. Something was going to happen because Moonie would go and raise hell. Yeah. But then in his later years, like the last, 5 or 10 years, he kind of stayed in the house and kept it at home and chilled on that level.
Right.
And so it became like a later Moonie compared to the early days, 80s and 90s Moon that was like raising hell.
Right.
But it was always a risk taking Moon out in public. Just
No.
it was the way it was,
Yeah.
But he always had the coolest house, dude. Like you walk in, it just decked out every single inch of the place with cool punk rock and rock stuff everywhere, cool toys and all kinds of, Misfits figures and caskets and just everything. Marilyn Monroe stuff. Just really cool guy with cats running around everywhere, and
Wow. I mean, I would have loved to have met him. I know he was supposed to make an appearance in Chicago last year.
he was. That's right, bro.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't quit apologizing for missing it. And I kept saying, bro, I'm not going to hold you there. I'm not mad at you. It's good, man. If you can make it, you would have. And then my buddy went to stay with Moon for a couple of days, and he said, man, it was very painful watching as Moonie would wake up each day because it took a couple hours for him to even get into gear. And then he would drink, and that was just like in Kenosha. A lot of my friends were big drinkers. In Wisconsin in general,
Yeah.
lots of my friends in Wisconsin in general are just big drinkers. So it's a thing there.
Yeah.
Kind of like England. It's like England there.
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture,
Yeah.
So I hope no one watching this gets pissed off because I'm talking about Moon's drinking. It was no secret ever from anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not talking disrespectfully at all about Moon. I'm just saying, we lived life in the fast lane, and he lived a little bit faster than the rest of us. And by that, I mean the partying, and, he would call me up and go, yeah, I'm drinking vodka. Ha ha. I'm like, damn, dude, you're a warrior, bro. I'd be like, that hangover would kill me the next day.
Yeah.
But it was a daily thing for Moonie, and he decided long ago that he was going to do his thing, and that was it. And we all respected that as his friends. Lots of us contributed to it. Everyone's guilty, but no one's guilty.
No.
He was a big boy that did what he fucking wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he's being remembered right now very fondly by me and you. And there's nothing being intentionally said to defame him or to be, badmouth him ever. But I appreciate you bringing him up, dude, and remembering him right now. It's cool.
Yeah.
Because he would like it. He'd like being remembered, man. He was a great dude.
I think that's the key. It's like, I think, especially when people pass, it's like, you talk about them. You want to talk about this person as much just so that they're still kind of alive, that they're still, but yeah,
he lived like punk rock as they can be, man. He carried the punk rock torch. He lived that. He lived it. He didn't just dress up funny on the weekends. He was always Moonie and always punk rock as F. I'm gonna keep cussing on your channel.
Oh, that's all right.
He was always just so punk rock, dude. Until the bitter end, he lived life on his own terms, with the drinking, with the punk rock, with deciding how he was gonna live his life. He was very much independent in that way, and I applaud him for not ending up in some freaking home or, caving in. He just decided to live like Lemmy and like Johnny Winter and all these people before him that just went out on their own goddamn terms and lived life how they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I there was a point when I kind of wanted to be in that like league of like Lemmy, obviously without the record sales or the recognition, but drinking and just like that whole life.
Title there. In a league with Lemmy.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. Like, I mean, I'm always amazed at anybody that can still do it. I mean, I certainly can't do it anymore. I mean, I'm almost at 8 years now since I touched booze.
Good for you, man.
Thank you. And you've been doing it for a long time too. So I'm proud of you that you've because I mean that's the thing, we need more people like you out in this world to share stories, share a past that nobody that is pretty much gone. Like a lot of the things that you've done in your life that could never happen again. And I'm glad that you
alcohol, all drugs and alcohol are destructive. But to me, in my experience, alcohol is the most quickly destructive. Moonie lived a long life comparatively with the way he lived since I met him in the 80s. He never stopped living that way pretty much daily.
Yeah. And
he lived to be over 60 years old. And you know what? I guarantee you he was ready to get out of here anyway, dude.
Yeah.
None of this is an accident. Nobody just accidentally dies or leaves their body. And I feel like he's still with me right now, and all of us. I think scientifically they say that there's no such thing as death, that the energy can't die, it merely changes form. So while he was in physical form, now he, in the essence of he, as being his consciousness, is very much alive, you know, and I do believe that. So it gives me a lot of comfort, and that's kind of the way I deal with death. But I am definitely numb right now to his death. I definitely very numb. Don't really know what to say except just keep his memory alive and keep playing the music, man, like you did earlier today. You know?
Listen to some 1096 or some U.S. Distress.
Yeah.
Wherever you can find it. But my best to Moonie's family and to you, Bloody, because I know that you shared a lot of that with me about just, you know, where things were at. So you know, and even if we, you know, you're not on the fireside and chats all the time. We do talk outside of offline, as they say, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you keeping me in touch. I mean, I know there's some days that are easy, some days that are hard, but I always love hearing from you, and you know.
I appreciate that, Angel. It's likewise, bro. Absolutely, it's an honor to be your friend, man.
Thank you. Any last words you want to say? Also, don't send Bloody any unsolicited links. The man has enough messages to deal with on a daily basis. So, for anybody with peace and love,
This is a serious message to everybody watching my update right now. Peace and love, peace and love. I want to tell you, please do not send fan mail to any address that you have. Nothing will be signed. It's going to be tossed. I'm warning you with peace and love, but I have too much to do. So no more fan mail. Thank you. And no objects to be signed. Nothing. Anyway, peace and love, peace and love.
At least send some context. You know, I think that's the key.
At least kiss me if you're gonna screw me.
Yeah.
Hello, if you're gonna send a link, say hi. How are you today?
Right. Yeah.
No, but I just want to say thank you to, if these guys are watching, who knows? Thank you to Bill Vomit and the Executioner, two of Moonie's very best friends that were out there with him until the bitter end as well, or the beautiful end, either way. But they were there taking care of him. The Executioner right there in Kenosha, physically. Thank you to him, aka Josh. And thank you to Bill Lorenz, a.k.a. Bill Vomit, in Northern California, for being there for Moonie. And, lots of love to Moonie's friends and family and all the 1096 fans. Thanks so much. Please go listen to No Retreat online.
Yes.
Leave a comment about Moonie.
Yes. And, I mean, I guess,
bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope there's some kind of memorial service or something, because, you know, it just seems like for a guy like Moonie, shouldn't just go on a quiet note. Like, we got to at least get something.
There'll probably be at least one, or if not more, memorial services for Moonie. I know Kenosha, and when a lot of the folks up there have left their material bodies, they've had all kinds of blowouts with bands and big memorials. So I'm pretty sure you can count on that happening up in Kenosha.
Okay. Well, let me know, because I mean, we're not that far, so we could.
Dude, I will.
If
I can't make it. I'm on the West Coast, but I can let you know, and if you can make it, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I could be your representative. So
that'd be cool.
Maybe just shoot something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, at some point I would love to, do something together on the channel. Whatever, I'll have to think of something, but we do a collaboration. I think that's...
also, dude, if they do a memorial for Moonie, and if it involves bands and all that kind of thing, it might be something to consider as some content for your channel. A lot of people would love that.
Yeah.
So document that thing, the whole thing,
Yeah. For those who couldn't make it.
Yeah, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just planting that seed in case,
I was kind of going there. I was thinking, well, if there's something, and if obviously a way to get in touch with Moonie's people. And we can, I'll shoot the thing.
As soon as I hear about the first memorial, dude, I will let you know.
Okay. Sounds good, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the time, man. I appreciate
it.
With you, man. And I look forward to seeing more content on your channel. Thanks for your support on mine, and I hope we stay in touch, man.
Oh, we will.
Next song goes out to you, Bo Seekers, man.
I love you, Bloody. Thanks for
Love
doing
you
this.
back, brother. Love you back, man.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, man.
All right.
Cheers. Have a great rest of your night, bro.
Peace. Love you.